Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The gentle hum of Genoa City is, as always, a deceptive prelude to the simmering tensions and explosive confrontations that define its skyline. On this particular Monday, October 20th, the air feels different, charged with a potent mixture of dread, anticipation, and the lingering scent of scandal that clings to the powerful like expensive cologne. The events of recent days have left no one untouched, from the corporate titans in their high-rise offices to the troubled souls seeking solace behind the manicured lawns of suburban homes. This is a day of reckoning, a day where carefully constructed lies begin to fray at the edges, and the desperate choices made in shadowy corners are dragged, kicking and screaming, into the unforgiving light. The city itself seems to be holding its breath, waiting for the first domino to fall in a chain reaction that promises to reshape relationships, dismantle empires, and expose the fragile humanity of those who believe themselves invincible. At the heart of this gathering storm stands Victor Newman, a man for whom control is as essential as the air he breathes, yet finds his grip on his empire, his family, and his very legacy slipping through his fingers like fine sand. The Newman Enterprises boardroom, his customary arena of domination, still bears the psychic scars of his recent shocking ouster. Today, he is not the king holding court but a general planning a meticulous counter-siege. Seated in the subdued light of his study, a crystal tumbler of amber liquid sitting untouched before him, he pores over a dossier so confidential it never sees the inside of a corporate server. His jaw is set, a familiar granite mask, but his eyes, those piercing blue eyes that have intimidated generations of rivals, betray a flicker of something far more dangerous than anger. A cold, calculating hurt. The betrayal by his own children, Michael and Victoria, is a wound that goes deeper than any corporate takeover ever could. He is not merely planning to reclaim his throne. He is architecting a lesson, a brutal reminder that the name Newman, his name, is not a title to be won but a force of nature to be weathered. Every move he contemplates is weighed not just for its strategic value, but for its potential to inflict a proportionate, and perhaps even greater measure of the pain he now carries. He is playing a long game, one where the final victory is not just the return of his CEO chair, but the absolute, unquestioning acknowledgement of his authority from those who dared to defy him. Meanwhile, across town, the very architects of Victor's temporary downfall are discovering that the view from the top is far more precarious than they ever imagined. Victoria Newman, now sitting in her father's chair, feels the weight of it not as a symbol of achievement, but as a trap. The power she has craved for so long is now hers, yet it feels hollow, contingent on the continued support of a brother, whose own ambitions are a swirling vortex of instability and resentment. Michael, for his part, paces the floor of his penthouse, the initial euphoria of their corporate coup having evaporated, leaving behind the bitter aftertaste of anxiety. He wanted his father's respect, his approval, but in its absence, he settled for his power, and now he wonders if the prize was worth the permanent fracture it has caused. The siblings are bound together by their conspiracy, but the threads of that bond are already straining. A phone call between them is terse, filled with unspoken accusations and the shared, chilling knowledge that Victor is not a man who accepts defeat. Every unexpected email, every closed-door meeting they are not privy to, every silent glance from a longtime Newman employee feels like a precursor to an attack they cannot see coming. They have dethroned a king, but they now rule a kingdom awaiting his return, and the constant, gnawing fear is eroding their confidence from within. This familial Cold War has ripple effects that touch every corner of the city, most acutely in the life of Claire Grace, who finds herself caught in the crossfire of a battle she never asked to join. Her connection to the Newman family, once a source of potential belonging, now feels like a target on her back. Having been welcomed, then cast out, and now existing in a nebulous state of wary truce, she is a woman adrift. Her Monday is spent in the quiet, sun-dappled confines of the Grand Phoenix, a place that has become both a refuge and a gilded cage. A chance encounter with Kyle Abbott, however, offers a glimmer of something different. Not the intense, often toxic drama of the Newmans, but the possibility of a simpler, more genuine connection. Their conversation over coffee is a delicate dance, filled with unspoken understandings, and the shared experience of being perpetual outsiders, in a world of dynastic giants. Kyle, with his own complicated history and a heart still mending from past fractures, sees in Claire not a pawn in the Newman game, but a person of depth and resilience. For Claire, Kyle represents a potential path away from the chaos, a chance to define herself by something other than the family she was almost a part of. Yet, the shadow of the Newman name is long, and every step toward a new beginning feels like a step further into a minefield, where one wrong move could reignite the fury of those she has left behind. The corporate intrigue, of course, is not confined to Newman Enterprises. Over at Jabot Collective, the atmosphere is equally tense, though the battle lines are drawn less by outright rebellion and more by the complexities of merging personal history with professional ambition. Billy Abbott, forever striving to prove he is more than just a charismatic gambler, is pushing a bold, high-stakes marketing campaign for the new Jabot youth line. He is all fire and passion, speaking of market disruption and brand legacy with an intensity that borders on manic. Sitting across from him, his brother Jack, the steady patriarch, listens with a practiced calm that barely conceals his deep-seated concerns. Jack has seen this version of Billy before, the brilliant, impulsive visionary who can either launch the company into the stratosphere or burn it all to the ground. Their meeting is a masterclass in fraternal dynamics, a push and pull of support and skepticism. Jack wants to believe in his brother, to finally see him channel his considerable talents into a sustained, stable success. But the ghosts of Billy's past failures, the Abbott bomb and countless other well-intentioned disasters, loom large in the spacious office. Every word of caution Jack offers is met with a flash of defensiveness from Billy, a reminder that for Billy, every business proposition is also a personal test of his worth. The fate of the new line hangs in the balance, but so does the fragile reconciliation between two brothers who have fought their way back from the brink too many times to count. While the men of Jabot wrestle with corporate strategy, the personal lives of the city's residents continue to unravel in their own dramatic fashion. The ongoing mystery surrounding Jordan and her relentless campaign of terror against Nikki Newman continues to cast a long, sinister shadow. Nikki, a woman who has faced down countless enemies, finds herself battling an adversary who operates from the shadows, weaponizing her past and targeting her deepest vulnerabilities. A cryptic package arrives at the Newman Ranch devoid of a return address, its contents mundane yet deeply unsettling. A photograph from a forgotten era, a song title scribbled on a piece of paper. It's a psychological game, designed to unnerve and destabilize. Nikki's attempts to maintain her composure in the face of this anonymous torment are becoming increasingly difficult, the strain showing in the tightness around her eyes and the rare, unguarded moments of fear when she believes no one is watching. Victor, consumed with his own corporate war, is only partially aware of the depth of her distress, adding another layer of tension to their relationship. This is a battle that cannot be fought in a boardroom, and Nikki's resilience, once her greatest asset, is being systematically worn down by an enemy whose motives remain infuriatingly opaque. Elsewhere, the complicated relationship between Devin Hamilton and Abby Newman continues to be a source of both profound connection and subtle friction. Co-parenting their son, Dominic, has created a bond that transcends their former romantic involvement, but it is a bond that is constantly being tested by their strong-willed natures and differing perspectives. A simple conversation about Dominic's schooling or his future becomes a delicate negotiation, where every suggestion is weighed not just for its merit, but for its potential to upset their carefully balanced dynamic. Devin, ever the pragmatist, approaches parenting with a structured, forward-thinking mindset, while Abby, whose heart has been through so much, operates from a place of fierce, sometimes impulsive maternal instinct. Their Monday includes a meeting at Society, a place that holds so many memories for them both, and the air is thick with the things they do not say. They are a family, but a uniquely modern one, built on a foundation of shared love for their child, rather than a shared life together. The challenge they face is in navigating this uncharted territory, respecting each other's roles while quietly wrestling with the lingering what-ifs, and the new boundaries that must constantly be drawn and redrawn. As the day wears on, the various threads of Genoa City's tapestry begin to intertwine in unexpected and dangerous ways. A piece of information uncovered by Michael in his quest to fortify his and Victoria's position inadvertently sheds light on the Jordan situation, suggesting the two crises may be more connected than anyone realized. A confidential corporate document, meant to detail a minor financial anomaly, references a shell company that traces back to a name from Nikki's distant past, a name Victor recognizes with a jolt of chilling clarity. The corporate and the personal, which have so often been separate battlefields for the Newmans, are suddenly and terrifyingly collapsing into one another. This revelation sends shockwaves through the inner circle, forcing a temporary, uneasy alliance between Victor and his rebellious children. The enemy of my enemy, as the old adage goes, is my friend, and the threat to Nikki proves to be a powerful, if temporary, unifying force. Emergency calls are made, urgent meetings are convened behind closed doors, and the entire family is forced to confront the reality that their internal squabbles have made them vulnerable to an external threat far more cunning and patient than they ever anticipated. The episode draws to a close not with a dramatic explosion or a shocking confession, but with a series of quiet, deeply resonant moments that set the stage for the turmoil to come. Victor stands at the window of his study, the city lights of Genoa City twinkling below him, but his gaze is turned inward, his mind racing to connect the disparate pieces of a puzzle that now threatens his wife and his company in one fell swoop. The anger toward his children is still there, a cold fire in his belly, but it is now subsumed by a more primal, protective instinct. Across town, Victoria and Michael sit in a silent, tense truce in her office, the weight of their father's new information hanging heavily between them. Their rebellion suddenly feels like a childish game in the face of a real and present danger. Claire, saying goodnight to Kyle, feels a flicker of hope for the first time in weeks, a fragile seedling that could so easily be crushed by the storms gathering around the Newman family. And Nikki, alone in her bedroom, holds the mysterious photograph in her trembling hands, her face a mask of grim determination as she realizes that the ghost from her past will not be appeased, and that the time for passive fear is over. The final shot of the day is of the Newman Enterprises logo illuminated against the darkening sky, a symbol of power and legacy that now seems more vulnerable than ever before. Monday, October 20th has ended, but it has not concluded. It has merely set the pieces on the board for a conflict that will redefine loyalties, expose hidden truths, and test the very fabric of what it means to be a family in the pressure cooker of Genoa City. The calm is gone, and the restless energy of the city has finally coalesced into the unmistakable rumble of an approaching storm. The upcoming episode of The Young and the Restless, airing on Monday, October 20th, 2025, promises to deliver one of the most intense and emotionally charged storylines fans have seen in months. Genoa City is once again at the brink of chaos as secrets begin to surface, unexpected alliances form, and hearts are torn between loyalty and betrayal. The air will be thick with tension as familiar faces confront difficult truths, and new developments threaten to shift the balance of power among the Newman, Abbott, and Chancellor families. Monday's episode isn't just another day in Genoa City. It's a turning point that will have everyone talking. As the episode opens, Nikki Newman finds herself at the center of yet another family storm. She's been trying to hold her family together for weeks, especially with Victor's recent health scares and the rising tensions between Nick and Adam. But as Nikki sits in the living room of the Newman ranch, sipping her coffee with a trembling hand, she senses that something terrible is about to unfold. She's always been the glue that binds her family, but even she's beginning to feel cracks forming under the pressure. The phone rings and her expression changes instantly. Something in her eyes says that this call is about to change everything. On the other end is Victoria, sounding shaken and urgent. Nikki's maternal instincts kick in, and she realizes that whatever her daughter is about to say will send shockwaves through the entire Newman empire. Meanwhile, at Newman Enterprises, Victoria Newman stands in her office, looking out the window with a mixture of pride and anxiety. She's built herself into a powerful CEO, commanding respect in a male-dominated corporate world. But today her confidence is faltering. She's just learned something that could destroy the company's reputation and her family's legacy. Files have surfaced linking Newman Enterprises to a series of questionable overseas business deals, and Victoria is torn between coming clean or covering it up before the media gets wind of it. Nate, who has been standing by her side both professionally and romantically, tries to calm her down, reminding her that they can weather this storm together. But Victoria's mind is elsewhere. She can't shake the feeling that someone inside the company is deliberately sabotaging her. Over at Crimson Lights, Sharon Rosales is having a quiet morning behind the counter, trying to find peace amid the chaos of everyone else's lives. Her calm demeanor masks her inner turmoil, Ever since she discovered a troubling health update, she's been avoiding telling her loved ones. Mariah walks in cheerful and unaware of her mother's growing anxiety, talking excitedly about Tessa's upcoming concert and their plans to expand their family again. Sharon smiles weakly, but her eyes betray her fear. She knows that one conversation with her doctor later that afternoon might bring life-changing news, and she doesn't want to ruin the joy in Mariah's voice. The emotional weight of her secret is almost too much to bear, but Sharon is determined to protect her family from unnecessary worry, at least until she knows more. At the Abbott mansion, things are equally complicated. Jack Abbott is at his desk reviewing documents related to Jabot, but his thoughts are clearly elsewhere. Diane enters the room trying to lighten the mood with a soft touch and a reassuring smile. The two have finally found some peace in their relationship, but even the strongest bonds can be tested. Diane has been receiving anonymous messages warning her that her past is about to catch up with her, and Jack can tell she's hiding something. He asks her directly if she's in trouble again, and she hesitates. Before she can answer, Kyle bursts into the room, his face flushed with anger. He's furious about the company's latest deal, and accuses Diane of manipulating Jack into a risky decision. The confrontation escalates quickly, leaving Jack caught between his son and the woman he loves. Elsewhere in Genoa City, Summer Newman Abbott is busy managing Marchetti, trying to prove that she can stand on her own without constantly being compared to her mother or her ex-husband. She's been laser-focused on the company's new fashion line, but her professional determination is suddenly interrupted when she receives a mysterious delivery, a small box with no return address. Inside is an old photograph of her and Kyle from happier times, along with a note that reads, "You can't escape the past." Summer's hands tremble as she reads it. She looks around the office nervously, wondering who could have sent it. Is someone trying to rekindle old feelings? Or is it a veiled threat? Either way, she senses that her personal and professional lives are about to collide. Meanwhile, in the Chancellor Winters' office, Devin Hamilton and Lily Winters are once again at odds over business strategy. Devin wants to pursue a merger with another media company, but Lily is hesitant, fearing that it might dilute their brand. Their argument turns personal when Lily accuses Devin of making decisions based on his emotions rather than logic, especially since he's still reeling from the fallout with Abby. Devin fires back, reminding Lily that she hasn't exactly been making clear-headed decisions lately either, especially where Daniel is concerned. The tension between them grows until Jill calls in via video chat to intervene. Her stern tone instantly silences both of them, and she warns that if they can't start working together, she'll take drastic action to protect the company's interests. At Society, Abby Newman is setting up for an important event. She's focused and professional, but she's also distracted by a recent conversation she overheard between Devin and Lily. She loves Devin deeply but can't shake the feeling that the strain between him and Lily could spill into their personal lives. When Chance Chancellor walks in, the air grows thick. There's still an undeniable spark between them, one that both have tried to ignore. Chance compliments her work, and for a brief moment they fall into an easy rhythm just like old times. But as they talk, old emotions resurface, and both struggle to hide them. Abby's heart races, torn between her current love and the one that once was. The look in Chance's eyes says it all. Some feelings never truly fade. Back at the Newman Ranch, Victor Newman returns from his doctor's appointment, more contemplative than usual. His legendary strength and stoicism seem slightly dulled today. He's been warned by his doctors to take things slow, but Victor is not a man who knows how to rest. He walks into his study, where Nikki is waiting with concern etched across her face. She can see the fatigue in his eyes, and for the first time in years, she senses real vulnerability in him. Victor admits he's been reflecting on his legacy, on the choices he's made and the enemies he's created along the way. He knows that his empire is only as strong as his family, and with them so divided, he fears everything he built could crumble. Nikki reassures him that they'll find a way through it together, but deep down she's not so sure. At the same time, Adam Newman is alone in his apartment, staring at his computer screen. He's been digging into company records, convinced that Victoria's hiding something. His instincts tell him that the supposed overseas deals are more than just bad business. They're part of a larger cover-up. When Chelsea stops by unexpectedly to drop off Connor's school project, She immediately senses Adam's obsession. She pleads with him to let it go and focus on their son, but Adam can't. He tells her this isn't just about business, it's about justice. Someone has to expose the truth, even if it means destroying his sister. Chelsea's eyes fill with tears as she realizes that Adam is once again on a path of self-destruction, one that could cost him everything he loves. The middle of the episode takes a darker turn when Phyllis Summers makes a surprising return to town after disappearing for a few days. No one knows where she's been, and her sudden reappearance sends ripples through Genoa City. Daniel is the first to confront her, demanding to know why she vanished without a word. Phyllis insists she was just clearing her head, but Daniel doesn't buy it. He can tell something or someone has gotten under her skin. Later, when Phyllis is alone in her hotel room, she pulls out a manila envelope filled with confidential documents. Her eyes widen as she reads through them. Whatever she's discovered could be explosive. She whispers to herself, "If this gets out, the whole town will burn." The mystery deepens, leaving viewers wondering what Phyllis is planning, and who she's planning it against. Back at the coffee house, Sharon receives a call from her doctor confirming her fears.